So I don't know why this is with guys. No idea. But guys that I know tend to be pretty good compartmentalizers. I look at my brain as a series of small rooms, and nobody enters the other rooms. That means if I have somebody I don't necessarily love, but they can help my kids out, help my family, good for business, I can compartmentalize this. It doesn't mush into other stuff. It's not like, batter or something. It's just like they're all little separate compartments. And so I don't know what it is, but in sports, T.O. was a Niner. He was an Eagle. He was a Cowboy. Those fan bases at different times loved him or hated him. But when he was on their team, they forgot all of it. I always have this feeling to, sort of to believe in anything, you have to forget a lot. Draymond Green used to not like Chris Paul. Chris Paul did not like Draymond Green. Now they're teammates. And Draymond Green talked about this on a podcast.
I publicly said I didn't like Chris before. Like, I'm just not going to be like, oh, man, that changed. Now he's my teammate. No, I look forward to talking amongst men. I look forward to working with another adult. I've had my fair share of days of, like, not working with adults and people who don't move like adults. So I'm looking forward to going to work with an adult. You know what I'm saying? Chris is a pro. I'm looking forward to going to work with a pro.
Yeah, I think you can read between the lines there. It's not hard to see. Jordan Poole was young, immature, and selfish and erratic. Chris Paul's none of those. Chris Paul is a veteran, smart, very few turnovers, makes everybody beyond himself better. Compartmentalize. That's one of the cool things about sports. Whether it's a 55-man NFL locker room, a 13, 14-guy basketball locker room, or a 25-guy baseball locker room. Different races, religions from different countries, different families, different backgrounds. Some are young and fighting. Some are old and wealthy. It doesn't really matter. Just getting everybody on the same page. Sports is very unique that way. You can have completely different philosophies on politics and life and raising a family and religion. And yet, a good coach and a good GM and a good leader in that front office and in that locker room, everybody's going in the same direction. I think they'll get along fine. One, because I think guys compartmentalize. And two, Draymond is Chris Paul. Smart, a veteran, a winner, feisty, and elevates others. They're the same guy. Jordan Poole is like 14 years younger than Chris Paul. There's a reason he and Draymond didn't get along. Probably didn't have the same taste in music, lifestyles. Draymond's a family guy. Chris Paul's a family guy. Now they'll compartmentalize their history and win games. I don't know why it is. I don't know why guys compartmentalize the way we do. I won't speak for women. If my wife gets in a bad mood, she's in a bad mood. It's going to be like soup. It's all going to mix together. I'm done for the day. For me, good 10 minutes, bad 10 minutes, whatever it is. Maybe it's because we're more selfish, and if you're helping us, we don't care about the rest. I don't know. Not a psychologist. But it'll work. Chris Paul and Draymond Green are the same guy. Winners, feisty, high IQ, highly competitive, love to irritate others. Jordan Poole is not the same guy as Draymond, nor was he the same as Chris Paul. And again, to believe in anything, you've got to forget sometimes everything. Yesterday's news shouldn't affect today. They'll get along fine. There's an old saying, same glasses, different lens. Looks the same, isn't. So yesterday, the Steelers signed another massive contract, gave a defensive player 4 years and close to $70 million. Alex Highsmith, he's a good football player. But the key to all this stuff, any business, yours, mine, staying current, right? So two of the great all-time AFC franchises are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Between the two of them, they have been to 13 Super Bowls, and they have won 9. These are great franchises. Kansas City was great. 60s, 70s, Hank Stram, Len Dawson. Steelers were the dominant team of my childhood in the 70s, the Steel Curtain. Terry Bradshaw, Jack Lambert, Mean Joe Green, Chuck Noll, on and on and on. But let's look at the last decade where Kansas City's gotten to 5 straight AFC championships and Pittsburgh's been to 1 in 10 years. Now, you could say that's all Mahomes. But let's go back to same glasses, different lens. How do they view football going forward? The Chiefs are 3rd in offensive spending, near the bottom of the NFL on defense. The Steelers are 3rd or 4th highest spenders on defense. Both rosters are very good. Both coaches are very good. Both rosters, organization, ownership, excellent. But the Chiefs are viewed differently today. They're viewed as creative and progressive and cutting edge and clever. Move off players quickly, especially on the defensive side if they're not named Chris Jones. Pittsburgh today is viewed as tough, physical, defense. And for 5 years, they can't figure out their offensive line or running game. Both rosters are stacked. Both owners are great. Both coaches will make the Hall of Fame. But they view the world differently. Kansas City's view is mine, so I favor it. Due to rule changes, you just can't do things you could do 10 years ago defensively, against corners, against tight ends. So Kansas City pays Chris Jones, an elite defender up front, and then just goes cheap and young and fast on defense. Remember, more players on defense went to the IR last year than offense. Defensive players blow stuff up. You don't want them old. They stay out after an injury longer. Kansas City's view, spend the money on offense, keep the defense young, fast, cheap, and fresh. If they get hurt, they recover more quickly. The Steelers' worldview, more sacks. The Steelers have led the NFL in sacks for the last 6 years. 0 playoff wins. 0. The Warriors valued shooting. The Sixers at the same time years ago valued size. How did it work out? The Chiefs value points, flexibility, creativity. The Steelers value old school toughness, defensive players, and sacks. It should be noted the last 5 Super Bowl champs, 0 have had a top 5 defense. You watched the Super Bowl. We thought that Eagles defense was great, and then it met Mahomes. We bragged about how good that young Kansas City defense was, and then they met Jalen Hurts. By the way, the Niners couldn't stop either offense, and the Niners defense is about as stacked as any defense has been, except, or maybe with the Seahawks a few years back. Same glasses, different lens. Success is about staying current. I like how the Chiefs see the world, even though I think the Steelers have a great ownership group, draft and develop, Hall of Fame coach, and a stacked roster.